Welcome to Delta History, where the hidden truths of modern conflict are uncovered, the fog of war is stripped away layer by layer, and the intricate web of strategy, sacrifice, and silent battles fought in the shadows is brought vividly into the light. In this space, history is not just dates and events, it's human decisions, the hum of engines before a strike, the quiet resolve of soldiers waiting for the signal, and the thunderous impact of choices made in seconds but remembered for decades. Here, every bullet fired carries not just gunpowder, but intent. Every explosion is more than destruction. It's a message, a statement, a turning point. And every mission, whether broadcast in news headlines or buried in classified files, is a small gear in the vast, grinding machine of modern warfare. Today, we embark on a journey into the heart of one of the most daring and audacious Ukrainian operations in recent memory. A mission so precise, so devastating, and so perfectly executed that it sent tremors through Russia's military hierarchy, rattled the walls of command bunkers, and forced the Kremlin to confront a truth it desperately wanted to deny. This is the story of Ukraine's Ghost Unit, an elite, enigmatic force operating under the Ukrainian Main Intelligence Directorate, the GUR. They are phantoms on the battlefield, rarely seen, never fully known, and always striking where the enemy feels safest. Against all odds, this team penetrated the defensive heart of occupied Crimea to destroy one of Russia's most advanced and treasured radar systems. The 98L6 Yenisei, the watchful eye and nerve center of the formidable S-500 air defense network. To understand why this single act of destruction resonated so profoundly, we must first explore what the 98L6 Yenisei represents. This is not a simple radar dish on a truck. The Yenisei is a fusion of cutting-edge Russian radar science, battlefield engineering, and strategic ambition. It is capable of detecting aircraft so stealthy that they appear invisible to older systems. It can track ballistic missiles hurtling at several times the speed of sound. It was designed not merely to watch the skies, but to dominate them. The Yenisei is the cornerstone of the S-500 Prometei defense system, Russia's most modern and most vaunted anti-aircraft and anti-missile platform. Moscow has promoted the S-500 as a game-changer, able to intercept everything from American F-35 fighters to hypersonic glide vehicles. It was supposed to be the impenetrable shield over critical territories, including Crimea, a peninsula Russia seized in 2014 and has fortified ever since. Positioned far from the front lines, in the deep interior of occupied Crimea, the Yenisei was meant to be untouchable. It was surrounded by concentric rings of S-300 and S-400 missile batteries, defended by layered radar systems, protected by electronic warfare units capable of blinding incoming drones, and watched over by armed patrols. To the Russian military, it was a fortress within a fortress. But in war, confidence can be a dangerous thing. The stronger the wall, the greater the shock when someone finds the hidden door. The Ghost Unit had been searching for that door for months, and now they were ready to step through. Operations like this are not improvised. They are crafted like a masterwork painting, each brushstroke deliberate. Months before the first drone took off, the Ghost Unit began gathering the pieces of the puzzle. From high above, satellite images revealed patterns, the movement of trucks, the construction of berms, the placement of guard posts. From the ground, agents embedded within Crimea, often civilians living under occupation, fed back observations. When guards smoked, which gates were used at night, where vehicles idled in the early hours. Intercepted Russian communications added further layers, the rotation of radar crews, the arrival of supply convoys, maintenance schedules that temporarily shut down certain systems. The Ukrainian engineers then stepped in. They developed a fleet of FPV drones, first-person view units, outfitted with specialized high-penetration explosives. These were not ordinary munitions. The charges were shaped to punch through radar housing and obliterate delicate, high-value electronics beyond repair. The drones were also programmed with signal-hopping technology to survive electronic jamming, a capability critical for reaching such a heavily defended target. Planning meetings were long, often running through the night. Every possibility was examined. What if the primary approach was blocked? What if the wind shifted? What if Russian EW unexpectedly increased? There were backup routes for the drones, fallback frequencies for communication, and even contingency plans for a manual strike should the remote approach fail. When the final plan was in place, the Ghost unit rehearsed, not in a field in Ukraine where satellites might watch, but in hidden locations, replicating the radar site's dimensions with remarkable precision. By the time the real operation came, every member knew their role as if it were instinct. It began in the early hours of a calm Crimean morning. The sun had not yet burned away the mist clinging to the fields, and the air was still, heavy with the scent of sea salt drifting inland. Somewhere far from the radar site, concealed in a camouflaged control position, Ghost unit operators prepared their drones. The motors whirred to life, a soft, insect-like hum, before the machines lifted from the grass and sped toward their target. Skimming just meters above the ground, they weaved between trees, hugged the contours of hills, and avoided open stretches that could expose them to visual detection. Through the drone's cameras, the operators saw the radar station loom larger with each passing second. The Yenisei's massive antenna rotated slowly, oblivious to the threat hurtling toward it at breakneck speed. Russian defenses were active. EW jammers began to pulse the airwaves, trying to sever the connection. The Ghost unit had prepared for this. The drones switched frequencies instantly, slipping through the interference like a knife through water. The first drone struck with surgical precision, slamming directly into the antenna structure in a blinding white flash. Shards of metal and composite material erupted outward. Almost immediately, the second drone followed, diving into the base housing where the radar's core processors were stored. The third and final drone hit a secondary support structure, triggering a chain of secondary explosions. Within moments, the towering radar crumpled into a skeletal ruin. Smoke and flame rose skyward, visible for kilometers. Russian troops scrambled, firing wildly at empty sky, their eyes searching for enemies they could not see. The aftermath was immediate and chaotic. The Yenisei's destruction left a hole in Russia's air defense coverage, a gap that could not be quickly patched. This was not a simple repair job. The radar's core technology was irreplaceable in the short term. Moving a replacement from deep inside Russia would be both slow and dangerous, as Ukrainian strikes could target the convoy. Russian military bloggers exploded with outrage. Some blamed Ukrainian spies within Crimea. Others accused Russian commanders of negligence. The loss of such a critical and expensive asset was an embarrassment Moscow could not hide, despite official statements downplaying the attack. For Ukraine, the success was a morale surge. Images of the burning radar site spread rapidly across social media, accompanied by captions celebrating the Ghost unit's precision and daring. For the people of Crimea still loyal to Ukraine, the strike was a reminder that liberation was not just a dream. It was a plan already in motion. The Ghost unit's destruction of the Yenisei radar is more than a military victory. It's a statement of capability, a proof that even in the most fortified territory, precision, planning, and bravery can topple the mightiest defenses. In modern warfare, brute force is often less decisive than intelligence, adaptability, and the willingness to take risks that others would shy away from. The Ghost unit operates in shadows, without fanfare, without public glory. Their names will not be printed in history books, but their actions will shape those pages. As the flames of the Yenisei lit up the night sky, they illuminated more than the wreckage. They cast light on a truth both sides now understand. No fortress is impregnable, no shield unbreakable. And in this war, the unexpected will remain Ukraine's sharpest weapon. This is Delta history, and this is just one chapter in a story that is still being written.